All right. Hey, everybody. So, I had a very strange kind of reaction to a friend of mine on Sunday. We were having a conversation, and it was our normal conversation, but what struck me was how stuck my friend seemed, and she was having a very, very difficult time coming out of it. So, why am I even talking about this? Well, um, I experienced her as frustrating. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I think it's important to understand why I felt frustrated with her. We kind of always do the same thing. We talk about things that are bugging us. That's part of our friendship. We're not people who are just trying to be like perfect. We have issues, and the joy of having a really good friend that you can relate to is that she can relate to you, and things can go wrong, but it always seems to work out, and I find that to be really, really so beneficial. And yeah. So what exactly happened? All right. If you are So this story really just kind of illustrates the weirdness that happens when the energy is shifting around us. If you're a spiritual or heart-centered entrepreneur, like you're a coach or a healer, or you're someone who works with energy or mindset, you are definitely going to want to think seriously about what I'm about to share with you in today's episode. This is huge information that can change the game for you if you are not experiencing the level of success in your business that you want. So, I'm going to be delivering the information over 2 days, today and tomorrow. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the energies that are present right now in the summer, not just with the solstice, which this is solstice week, okay? It was on the 21st, but I'm going to be talking to you about the summer as a whole and what energies are present. And then tomorrow, I'm going to take you through a powerful way to actually use the summer to position yourself for a successful autumn launch. So I know a lot of you, like everybody I know, I don't know one person who's not going to be presenting something in the autumn. So, in order to be successful in the autumn, you need to start with the energies now. You need to be aware of what's going on in the summer so that you can position yourself in the autumn. All right, my name is Crystal Lynn Bell, and I'm a spiritual business mentor. I'm the founder of Badass Butterfly Alchemy. I work with spiritual women who want to establish six-figure businesses that have a system in place so that they aren't trying to do everything, but that their business is actually a real functioning business. Every day, Monday through Friday, I am here at 2 o'clock Pacific. I do the Spiritual Business Hour with Crystal Lynn Bell. I'm Crystal Lynn Bell, and I talk to you about the things that are important for you as a spiritual woman running a business. Some of you all are going to be in different levels. Some of you are going to be very advanced. Like a lot of my friends, we're all top level coaches. We've been doing this for years or even decades. And some of you are going to be brand new. Everything that I'm going to be talking about is going to talk to you no matter where you are. Why? Because I'm going to be talking to you at the level of your soul, at the level of your higher self, and at the level of the experience that you are having. So today, like I said, I want to talk to you about 4 ways that you can use the energy of the solstice in your business, or the energy of summer in your business. So, the first thing I want to present is that the summer solstice is about pivoting, and the summer is about pivoting from the winter. Now, I talked a bit about this yesterday and I talked a bit about this on Monday. We're here at Woo Wednesdays. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, and it should start to be making sense to you. So, the summer solstice is the moment that the Earth reaches the maximum tilt toward the sun in the northern hemisphere. So, it's the longest day of the year, it's the peak of light, and it is the height of solar energy. Now, we're big. The Earth is huge, okay? So, you don't feel this um, physically, but I guarantee you, energetically, you are feeling it because you are sensitive. We are sensitive. We are humans and we are tuned in. Even though, the busyness of life can take us away from our sensitivity, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. We're just not paying attention to it. So I'm here to help you pay attention to it and to help you learn what you can be looking for. So as soon as the Earth makes that tilt, like boom, hits peak, it automatically starts moving back in the other direction as we start making our way toward winter, right? So this is important because what we feel energetically is some sense of loss. It's a pivot that's happening inside us. And again, if you're sensitive, you are aware. Your pets are aware. Your pets feel it. And you may not be paying that much attention to your pets. You're treating them like you always do, but they are aware. Apollo started walking differently on Sunday, and at first, I was like, what is going on with you? What is going on? It was so subtle. His shift from, bounding and leaping to this kind of subtle thing. And I was looking at him going up the stairs, and I said, hold on, something's different about what's going on. And when he tried to get into the car, he was off a little bit. And I was off a little bit. And my aunt was off a little bit. And she didn't notice. And my cousin was off. Everybody was off. And I'm the one paying attention. Apollo knows, your animals know. So what we can be experiencing this as is a sense of loss. We have to be careful because we need to also understand, and this is why this is so important. I'm going to talk about this more in a minute, but there is a sense of loss because the sun was in Gemini, an air sign, and now the sun at the solstice shifts into Cancer, a water sign. So we go from thinking into feeling, and that is a huge shift. It's a huge shift that can really throw you for a loop because if you are like me, you are in your head. You're used to doing things with your mind. You're used to being ruled by your mind. But all of a sudden, spirit is like, hey, the world, not just spirit, everything is like, now we are moving not just into our heart, but into the heart of the Cancerian, which is ruled by the moon. And it's extremely sensitive and extremely feminine and extremely intuitive. And there's an opportunity for all your grief to be seen. It's ruled by the moon. Okay. Now, the earth does not resist the shift that's happening within it. Okay. It doesn't mourn the shortening of days. It just moves on. It keeps turning gracefully and on schedule, and it keeps moving toward the next phase of its cycle. This is your invitation to do the same. Okay. But here's the thing. Your mind is not going to experience it with the same kind of grace that the sun does, or the earth does, rather. You might end up feeling it as resistance, as fatigue, as disappointment, as failure. Everything that you fear might be coming up to the surface. But the thing is to understand that this is a normal part of living, a normal part of being. Okay? So Taking a deep breath. If you have spent the spring generating ideas, building content, exploring the possibilities, expanding your thinking, the solstice is a natural signal that it is time for you to pivot from expansion into focused execution. So instead of doing so much dreaming, you're going to start moving now into more doing. If you've been adding a bunch of stuff on, adding, it's time to go into completing. The energy of this season is literally about turning in that direction. And the entrepreneur who turns with it rather than against it will find that the next 3 months significantly are more like productive, then it's not just about being productive. I want to just pause myself right here. It's just easier because even if you fight against the flow, you're likely to still get stuff done because you know what needs to get done. What I'm talking about is how to do it with more ease, more grace, and more joy instead of fighting. And this takes me back to what I was talking about with my dear friend and why I was so frustrated, so freaking frustrated with her on Sunday. I am sensitive. I pay attention. So when my world started shifting, like for example, when Apollo started walking funny, and I've got to be concerned about him. But not just that, it was other things too. It was other things happening in my business. I, had some frustration with my team members. I had frustration with my work. The quality of the work that I was producing wasn't where I wanted it to be. Things weren't going the way I wanted them to go. But rather than to fight, what I did was to say, look, this is how things are going. I'm going with the flow. This is what's happening. I'm going with the flow. Not fighting. My friend was fighting and fighting and fighting, and she wanted me to be brought into her fight. Why isn't this person doing what I need them to do? Why isn't this moving along fast enough? Why aren't they doing this? Why isn't this person doing what she's supposed to do? All this resistance. And then what she did to me was to say, I need you to take some cards for me. I need you to tell me what the energy is saying. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Number one, it's not really fair for you to put that on me, for me to have to listen to your resistance at that level and intensity. I'm not, even though we're friends, I'm not your what is it called when you just dump? Like not your dustbin, not your trash can, where you get to just unload everything on me. I was very sympathetic, though. I was compassionate. And then the demand to take a card, and then take another, take a card, all these messages. I need you to take a card. So, I took the card when I was ready, gave her the message. I did not read the card because I didn't want to be in that. I didn't want to be forced into that. I didn't want that. Okay. Cancer, the astrological sign of Cancer is about being a little hermit, crab in your shell and feeling safe and feeling protected and kind of finding support from within. Okay. And so the way to get people to do things is not to batter them, but to actually give them time. Hey, when you feel called, Crystal Lynn, will you take a card for me? And then letting go and letting God. That's what Cancer is about, letting go and letting God. It's a water sign, Let me keep this train moving here. So my point is that what I'm going to share with you today and tomorrow is about um, learning how to use the energy, learning what energy is present, and then learning how to use that energy. The sun is going to be in Cancer until July 18th or something like that. So if you're watching this today, this is great timing. You've got a whole 4 weeks to understand how to use this energy, okay, and to use it and enjoy this sexy, sensual Cancer energy. It's intuitive as well. Sexy, sensual, intuitive Cancer energy. So pivoting is what I've been talking about, right? Pivoting with grace means making a conscious decision rather than waiting to be forced by exhaustion or missed deadlines, and certainly not by trying to force the world around you to cooperate with you. So, this is a time of reviewing what you have built, choosing what actually moves forward, and committing to a focused direction for the summer season. It should be focused. Just because we're in Cancer right now doesn't mean that you need to be watery. This is where things can get hard for us, because if you are sensitive, you might be more inclined to relax and retreat and not get nothing done. Okay. You don't have to do everything, but you do want to be doing the right things consistently between now and July 18th when Leo moves in, and autumn when you're going to be wanting to do your launches and you're going to want to be bringing people into your program. All right. Number two, the thing I want to talk to you about are the astrological influences that are at play this summer, including Lionsgate. Do you know what Lionsgate is? Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. Let me try and stay on point because there's so much here. I could go on forever. Okay. Very passionate about astrology and using the season to be successful in our businesses. So this summer carries particularly potent energy for spiritual entrepreneurs and women in business. And it's really worth kind of understanding what is happening in the sky. So the sun goes into Cancer, or went into Cancer, on June 21st, which was the same day as the solstice. We have a full moon in Capricorn on June 29th. That's just today's the 24th. So in 5 days, we have the full moon in Capricorn. And then we have a new moon in Cancer on July 14th. So why is this significant? Cancer is about moving inward, as I've said. Cancer represents home and early childhood and mother. And it represents like now is the time for going within, like coming home to ourselves, allowing ourselves to feel deeply and to honor whatever comes up in our consciousness. So it's a great time for meditating and journaling, and using meditation and journaling as a way to even build your business. So this is actually where our fuel can really come from as a spiritual entrepreneur. The most powerful business decisions come from a place of emotional clarity and genuine self-knowledge, and Cancer season really provides that. On June 29th, the full moon in Capricorn brings the spotlight to how we balance our worldly commitments, our responsibilities, and our work. Okay, so let me just say this because I know I'm talking about Cancer, but then I throw in Capricorn. That can be confusing if you don't understand how the moon and the sun work with astrology. All right, but that's why I'm here to explain it. So the sun is in the constellation of Cancer for a whole month, okay, for 30 days, let's say, not for a month, but for 30 days. And in the meantime, while the sun is in Cancer, the moon is all over the place, literally all over the place. The moon, while the sun is in Cancer, the moon is going to be full in Capricorn and new in Cancer. It's full in Capricorn on the 29th, and it's new in Cancer on, I think I said the 12th. I've got that. I think I said the 12th. We can double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. So the sun moved into Cancer on June 21st. The full moon comes into Capricorn on the 29th, so in 5 days. Capricorn is the sign of your work, like our ambition, our structure, our long term achievement, our vocation. And a full moon there means that there's an opportunity for you to look honestly at whether your outer professional commitments are actually in alignment with your inner emotional truth. This is a powerful lunation for releasing any approach to your business that has been driven by obligation or external expectation rather than your genuine calling. In other words, is the work that you're doing coming from your heart and your soul, or are you doing it for the wrong reasons? When I shifted from being a spiritual life coach into being a spiritual business mentor, there was that's a big shift. I went from helping the general population, women who were spiritual, who wanted to work with me because they wanted to be connected to God, blah, 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 right? I went from being a coach to being a business mentor, helping other coaches build their businesses. It's a huge shift. I had to look at what was really going on. There was a part of my ego that was like, I have built a business. I figured this out. I really want to help women build their businesses because they should not struggle the way that I struggled. I want to help them build their businesses. While that was true, that wasn't the whole truth. The whole truth that I had to really come to terms with is that I am a very potent Empress. I hold Empress energy. I hold also builder energy. But for me, I am a queen bee. And for me to try to mentor women coaches without first owning that queen, I'm saying queen bee because that's what many people can relate to. But actually, my vibration is like queen wasp energy. We'll talk about that a different time. But I'm a builder. So I'm the queen of builders. I'm the queen of structures. I'm the queen of systems. I'm the queen of getting things done. That's the nature of wasp. And wasp is one of my spirit guides. So this is why I'm saying wasp. Even though you can relate to queen bee, bees are also great builders. I'm also, I'm more of a wasp energy. Anyway, so making that shift and stepping into that power took time. And my ego wanted to rush forward and be like, I'm just going to build these systems and get people to do it. No, I couldn't do that until I fully embodied what was inside. This Sun in Cancer period is about looking at what's inside so that you can align that with your purpose. So on July 14th, the new moon in Cancer, it's July 12th. No, it's July 14th. I'm so sorry, you guys. The new moon is not July 12th, like I just said. It's the 14th. I know now because it's my aunt's birthday. I'm going to celebrate her birthday in a good way. Anyway, so the new moon in Cancer gives you an incredible emotional reset that is going to support your personal growth. Now, guys, in the Spiritual Business Hour Hub, which is my private group, and it's free to join, by the way, You can get the replay of this video. You can get the replay of all the Spiritual Business Hub videos, but you can also get the cheat sheet that goes along with this week. And that cheat sheet is has a guide. It's a guide for you to be able to do this kind of work on yourself. All right. So I will put a link right now. I'm going to put a link right now in the there's a link in the banner. There's a banner that's down below, and you can use that. You can use that link right down there. When I'm done with this video, I will put a link into the comments for you. All right. Oh, you know what? There's also the QR code right there, or maybe it's right there. I think that my thing is mirrored, so it'll be right there. You can use that QR code, and it will take you right down to the hub, so you can join, so you can sign up. All right, so July 14th is the new moon in Cancer, and that's going to give you a chance to reset your emotions. So you can set your intentions. You get in touch with your intentions, get in touch with what's really going on at your core, and then you can set your intentions for the new season, and you will be emotionally honest because you're doing this work on the inside, so that what you're doing on the inside is aligned with your higher self, and it's going to help you be very, very clear with where you're going. Now, Leo season begins July 23rd and it goes until August 22nd. That's when the sun moves from the inward Cancer to the outward Leo. And I should have also told you, I should have said this, you guys. Cancer is ruled by the moon. That's why it's so inward, it's so maternal, it's so sensual, it's so intuitive. It's ruled by the moon. Leo is ruled by the sun. The moon and Cancer is the quintessential feminine. Leo and the sun is the quintessential masculine. So Leo season starts July 23rd and it moves through August 22nd this year. The sun is going to be like illuminating your boldness, your expressiveness, your radiance, and visibility. Visibility is so important right now, and this is your time to be claiming it. Yes, it's your time to get out there, but it's also time for you to be setting intentions so that you are being seen and heard and you are showing up in all your power. This is not a season for hiding. It is a season for showing up with confidence, claiming your authority, and putting your work in front of the people who need it. For a spiritual woman building a business, Leo season is energetic permission to be seen. Now, the Lionsgate portal is July 28th through August 12th, and it peaks on August 8th. Now, I'm going to talk about that. That's going to be its own episode. Okay. And I'll see what kind of specialists I can bring in so that we can really break that down. But this Lionsgate portal is really important. It's when the sun in Leo aligns with Sirius, this constellation around Sirius, which is like the brightest star in the night sky during this period. Okay. And it's known as the spiritual sun. It's part of Orion's belt, and it's a really important alignment. So this alignment is significant and has been known since ancient Egypt. But like I said, we'll go into that. We'll go into that later. I should be speeding myself along here because I'm taking too much time. I want these episodes to be short, but they're not always going to be short because I've got a lot to say. So in 2026, Lionsgate is really, really charged because Jupiter is going to be, wait, hold on a second. Yes. Jupiter moved into Leo. Yep, on the 30th, or is it on the 23rd? I might have my dates wrong. but let me just say this. Let me just say it anyway. I'm sorry if my dates are off, okay? Jupiter is moving from Cancer into Leo. I believe it's on the 30th, but it might have been yesterday. I'm sorry, guys. I should have my dates better, but sometimes I get confused, man. Anyway, regardless, by the time Lionsgate rolls around, Jupiter is going to amplify that desire to create, okay? And the Lionsgate portal is just days before a total solar eclipse in Leo on August 12th. So that's going to make it an ideal moment to clarify the intentions before a new cycle of visibility and courage and self-affirmation begins. All right. So, all right, look, I feel like I totally want to wrap this up right now, but I'm not. I'm going to keep going, but just make sure you come back here tomorrow. And I'm going to be giving Woo Wednesdays is when I talk about all this woo-woo stuff. That's Woo Wednesdays for you, friend. Thursdays, I talk about how to build things in your business. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to build that launch plan so that you can launch in August. Fridays, I do Badass Beautiful Fridays. Mondays, it's bold conversations with another coach or healer or mentor. And we talk about things in a really deep way, but it brings in another perspective. Tuesdays is Heal Yourself Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, I talk about healing yourself, how to work from a healed place, how to bring in healing energy so that you can work as a healing work in progress while you're building your business. All right. I promised you 4 ways. So let me see what my number 3 is. Number 3, I wanted to tell you kind of like why summer is the prime time. I think I've already explained that. That was my number 3, like prime time. Why is summer the prime time? And then the last thing that I wanted to say is, the last thing that I wanted to say really for us is about like the importance the importance of this shift, the importance of this shift within yourself, and understanding, look, I have to bring this back. You were called into this work for a reason. You were called into this work so that you could be seen and heard, so that your philosophy of life could be shared and used by the people who need it. Right now, we've just gone from creating and we're shifting into doing. We're going to spend the end of June, July, August, and into September. We're going to start building momentum into growth, development, and then launch. So we're growing, we're developing, and then when autumn comes, we're going to be launching and we're going to be reaping the rewards of all our hard work. If you want to bring people into your business in September, October, November, you need to be doing this work right now. Use the energy, pay attention, take advantage of the things that I'm talking about, because these are the things that are going to help you. You need your inside structure to be strong so that your outside structure can be strong. All right, friend, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for right now. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and in the future. All right, bye for now, friends. Bye.